like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. As a matter of fact, been on a 2-week break. I was actually celebrating, I went on vacation celebrating my birthday. And then, of course, if you're a part of Total Life Changes, TLC, then you know that we have just come out of an amazing event in Orlando, the Mind, Body, and Spirit event, which was incredible, life-changing. And I am looking forward to the next event. So we kind of took a 2-week hiatus. However, at the event, if any of you were able to catch it, we did do a roundtable with a few individuals that were former transformation contest winners, and one that hadn't quite became a transformation contest winner as of yet, but her name was Gwendolyn Branches. You remember she was the second guest on the Victim No More podcast. So that was incredible. And we're having just a little bit of technical difficulty as far as our guests are concerned. So they'll be on the way. In the meantime, I just want to take the time out to just take this opportunity to say thank you. This podcast has experienced so much support, and it's kind of surprising because the podcast sort of came out of nowhere. All I knew was this is what I needed to do, I was supposed to do, and I needed to show up and actually make this happen, even when I really didn't know what was going on and what I was doing. And as a matter of fact, I still don't know what I'm doing. So all I'm doing is trusting God. And in the process, you all have been supporting me, sharing the videos, coming on while it's live. And that means so much, because ultimately all I want to do is serve. And this is a major way to serve and to help people as they begin their journey, their transformations. It has nothing to do with whether or not they make it on the stage and be part of a large ceremony, because it's much bigger than that. This is about, taking what's going on in your life. And if you've been victimized by it, you're literally being encouraged by individuals who are standing on the other side of through. And in the process of doing that, and as you hear, you are encouraged, and then you begin to make that transition from being a victim no more. And then the next thing you know, you are encouraging someone else to make the same steps. And I am thoroughly pleased now that I see that our guests have actually appeared. And before we go into the formal introduction, I just want to give you sort of like a sneak peek as to who we're going to have as a special guest on the Victim No More podcast this evening. I know that this is going to bless you immensely.
Be recognized as director at this event.
It felt freaking amazing to be on that stage, to be recognized as a director, because I will be on that stage again being recognized as a six-figure earner, and I will become a brand ambassador. You watch.
You heard it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to some and present to others none other than the amazing, incomparable, incredible, beautiful, and absolute a plethora of wisdom. You all are going to be blessed this evening. Her name is Miss Tracy Swift. Welcome to the Victim No More podcast. Thank you so much for taking out your precious time to grace us with your presence. I've had the privilege of getting to know you since the end of last year, and it has been an absolute pleasure, a privilege. I've learned some things. I've learned to be a better person, a better leader, a better sponsor, and you have definitely been part of that process. How do you feel being on the podcast at this very moment? Because a lot has happened here within the last, I guess you could say, couple of weeks. How are you feeling? How are you doing?
I'm actually feeling great. I feel good. Um, as you know, excited and nervous. uh, being on, on the spotlight. Um, but I'm willing and ready to share my story.
That's good. That's good. And when we're going to take this, bit by bit, we're going to walk this out. And I know that your story is going to bless so many people. For those of you who are on the live right now, please share. Hit the share button. This needs to be heard. And for those who will actually watch this on replay, hit the share button, because I know without a shadow of a doubt that this is going to be a blessing to so many people. It's going to help many people. Now, Tracy, if you've watched the podcast, in previous weeks, you know that we kind of like to start from the beginning, before total life changes, before any business, kind of give us a walkthrough, if you will, maybe from, you know, childhood, up until, young adult, as to who Tracy Swift was and who she was becoming.
Um, let's see. Parents are immigrants from Belize. They migrated to the U.S.,
Okay.
to California. Um, my biological father was murdered when I was 8 months,
Mhm.
maybe nine. So I never got to have that moment, that most children get to, at least for, memory's sake.
Mhm.
Um, then my mom married my stepfather, who is the only father that I do know. Um, and it's like, they got divorced by the time I was maybe 7.
Okay.
So it's been a single parent home since I was 7 years old. Um, a mother who went from being like a housewife
Mhm.
to I have to figure it out because I've never had a job before.
And provide.
Because,
Mm.
and you're from a whole nother country, so she had to figure it out. She had 2 kids, having to figure out what to do. Um, she told me when she went to go, how when somebody's murdered or deceased, you pick up their belongings that was on their body. And so she said she went to pick up my father's belongings. She said she just spent her last $20 to buy diapers, and somebody stuck a knife in her back to rob her while she was putting me in the car. So she was like, the only thing that she could think of to hold for me to have was his death certificate. The
Mm.
man took his bloody clothes, his glasses.
Wow.
So, we're there. Sorry about that. Um, so that happened. We moved to Mississippi when she got remarried. Well, married. They divorced. Moved back to California. Um, She's out here having to figure it out again. Um, we moved to no, Hollywood, off of like Sunset and Wilshire,
Mhm.
and we lived over there. Um, she had a boyfriend, and this will be the first time that I was molested. Um, that happened from 9 till I was about 10. Um, you know, at that time, I'm having a grown man tell me, I'll kill your brother and your mother if you say anything. So, come on, brother. I'm not about to say nothing. And my folks, you know. So that happened. Um, Life moved on, became a teenager, you know, um, 13. I was raped and actually had my virginity taken away. Yeah, in that sense, it was robbed for me. Um, I was mandated after that therapy until I was 21, and that was therapy 3 times a day. Um, Once with me by myself, one with my parent or my grandmother who took me, um, and the other in group session. And so
my self-esteem was very low of how
Mm,
I felt about myself, how I was treated, not so by my mother, but the outside world she tried to protect me from.
right.
Um, I was sheltered. I was hecka sheltered. You don't eat sugar. You don't eat like, junk food that normal kids eat. I didn't have that life. You want something sweet? We gonna make you some cookies, pie, cake. We can go bake it in the kitchen.
Hmm.
You want to go play? You gonna go hang out with your cousins. Who's these friends? I need to know their mama. Let's call them.
Right,
So
right. It's just all about protecting at that particular time.
right, right. So I couldn't even spend the night at nobody's house. If a friend wanted to spend the night, they had to come towards me. You had to come to my home. You couldn't. Tracy, what? Sorry, buds. Tracy can't go that route. But you guys are more than welcome to come home over here, and my mom will cook and food, all that
Hmm.
good stuff. So I was sheltered, you know. So I was naive to the world and everything out there. So had mandated therapy. Group therapy was the hardest for me, um, and it still affects me to this day, just because I've seen so many kids. I was a kid myself who, and I have to remind myself that because what I went through doesn't lessen the wrong of what they went through because it was somebody else.
Right.
Um, but I was hearing kids, daughters, talking about their father was raping them. It's different to hear your father, your uncle, your brother. You know what I'm saying? And it hit different. So
Hmm.
in my mind, I was like, bruh, we can get through this. Like, whoa, I don't know what I would do if this happened to me, but I didn't realize I was lowering my self esteem doing that to myself.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So grew up. After that, I became standoffish. I was angry at the world. Didn't care who it was, who wanted to fight. What's up? I don't care. Because at that point, what? My innocence has been taken. So I mean, what else can you take from me? I was already a sick kid, so being sick, it was like, come on. When you want, when it's whatever. So I didn't. I grew up, excuse my French, with the mentality of I don't give a fuck.
Mm.
I don't care. What's up? Didn't care. Had my life in harm's way so many times. I can be honest with y'all, I should have been dead 10 times over. Several
Well,
different ways.
obviously,
From doing,
obviously, there's a lot of purpose why you're still here, and we're thanking
oh,
God
most
today
definitely.
that you're here today, um,
Amen.
because you're speaking someone else's story as you're telling yours right now, and this is helping even right now, even though it's a little bit uncomfortable for some people. It's the truth. It's the reality, especially in the business that we're in. We are in a people business. Total Life Changes is all about people, and what we sometimes forget. We override that by looking at the money and the opportunity, and that all has its purpose. Trust and believe, but this is people first. If you care about the people, the people will grow correspondingly, and you having the opportunity to tell your story gives even more light, and it can give even more context as to what we're seeing today as far as what's going on with you. We appreciate it even more. Now, you just mentioned something about being a sick child. Could you just briefly just go into that as you made reference as far as being sick is concerned?
Um, those people you see that should be in a bubble, I should have been one of those people. um, so growing up, I always had intestinal problems where I would profusely vomit and go to the restroom like the T does, okay?
Mm.
But nonstop. So we're at a point where like I would turn pale gray. Um, I was completely dehydrated where I would have to go to the hospital. They'd have to hydrate me, put me on medications, all this good stuff. Nobody could ever tell me what was wrong. So
Hmm.
you had that. You had my body always ached, hurt. My bones always hurt. Couldn't nobody tell me why. Then um, I had an allergic reaction to so the intestine issue that lasted. That happened all the way. It stopped out of nowhere when I turned 20,
Okay.
20 or 21. It just stopped. But it had me in ERs and hospital at least once a month.
Wow.
And I just couldn't control it. Like I would be down for like 2 weeks at a time.
Mm.
So just imagine every month you get sick like that and you down 2 weeks at a time.
2 weeks.
Can't do nothing. Exactly. And that's trying to get back to being nourished, nourishing my body, gaining weight because I had lost it and I look like a skeleton.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to eat, not being able to sleep, um, just trying to deal with those factors and being as a child, being depressed because I'm always sick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so had that. Um, then the next worst thing, I was 17. Um, I was given compazine because the same thing I was happening with my intestines. They wanted to try a new medicine for nausea, which is compazine. Well,
Okay.
compazine is very deadly for me. Compazine twisted my whole face. You know how like um, in Beetlejuice, how you seen that little character where the face was this way and the
Right.
bottom was that way?
Right.
That's what my face did.
Wow. Whoa.
So the ambulance showed up to my house, did not take me. I called my mom and told her the ambulance did not take me. She left her job, came and picked me up from home, took me to the ER. The ER doctor told him if you didn't get here on time, she was going to die. Because literally my face was ripping, my jaw were ripping, was going to rip my face apart.
Mm.
And I couldn't control it. And then I had, on the way to the hospital, the thing, the doctor stick in your mouth and go, ah. I had to
Right.
have several of those to hold my mouth open,
To hold the
and I'm
mouth open.
pushing my face. So I still get pains in my jaw. Like I could feel it. Like sometimes I have to push it and it'll go back into place. But it's like that. So I dealt with that. Um, let's go back into a little some more trauma. As an adult, um, I was raped. Having to deal with childhood molestation, childhood rape, now being raped as an adult. What I thought I healed from my childhood. No sirree Bob. No sirree Bob. Everything resurfaced and I became destructive. Mentally to myself, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. I just was like, okay, you know, here we go. Then I was hit with cancer for the first time. So it was just like this trickle effect of,
One thing
whoa,
after another.
you
Wow.
know, it's
How much
like,
can a person take? I know that conversation came up many times. Many
man,
times.
I used to ask God, do you love me? Like, did I make you mad? You know, like, is this my punishment for things that I know I did wrong? Because I was being self destructive. I didn't care who I hurt, didn't care if I hurt myself. I was angry at everybody, and I took it out on any and whoever. I didn't care. I don't even know how people were even my friends or somebody even was around me
Mm.
because I was so low vibrational. It's ridiculous. Sometimes I look back like, that was me. We were that low vibrational and didn't know. Didn't I didn't have guidance though, because I come from a culture. If something happens to you, we
Right.
and they go underneath the rug. We
And
just
that's a
gonna no,
lot of
baby.
our
We,
yeah, that's a
you
lot
know what
of
I'm
our
saying?
testimony.
We're gonna put this all the way in the far back where we try to not remember it, but it's still there because it hasn't been dealt with. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? As soon as somebody says something, as soon as you see something,
It
or
rears its
somebody
head.
does something, it's triggered. It's triggered.
Hmm.
And then you're wondering why you get so angry, why you're so upset, why you're displacing anger, hurt, and pain on somebody who didn't do anything to you. You know? So it was that, and I was just like, I have to get out of this, and didn't realize I was surrounding myself around people who said they loved me. I mean, people who I was friends with for 12 years,
Hmm.
years, and it was the complete opposite.
Because love is an action word.
That part. So I didn't realize that now as an adult, it matters who you surround yourself with, who you surround yourself around. You know, those people matter. I don't even care if it's family. Sometimes you can't hang with certain
Mhm.
family members.
Right.
I'm not, and it's no shade, no disrespect, but it is what it is. Um, so, anyways, cancer hit. Here we are with ovarian cancer. Um, had surgery. Um, was out of commission about 3 months. Um, ended up having, now that was at 21. They told me I couldn't have children. If I wanted to have children, I would have to go through IVF and it would be a struggle.
Mm.
23. Same ovarian cancer hit me again. Um, did chemo, did all that good stuff. Um, hair fell out in certain places. Like, the movie Rugrats, the cartoon. You
Right.
remember Cynthia, the doll who had patches in her head was.
Right.
So my head was like that, and I lost a lot of weight that time. It was really bad, um, but I got through that again. Um, then I had my child at 25.
The
I,
miracle
I
baby.
call her my miracle baby. Yes, 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 yes. Especially I was told that I couldn't have children on my own and it would be very difficult for it to happen. So yes,
Hmm.
that was, is my miracle baby. And what most people don't know, when I was pregnant with her, I had 3 embryos in my womb.
Wow.
Three. Okay, three. And
Not
so, I
one,
passed,
not two,
no,
but
but
three.
two, but three. So
Wow.
I, hmm so I had passed out when the man told me that, because what? Excuse me, buddy. He called the father of my child. He runs to the hospital. What happened? What happened? I said, man, they said we got three. He said, what?
Oh my
Ah!
goodness.
He said, we got what? I said, the man said we got
Got
three.
three.
So we were like, I'm 25. He's 27. We both shitting bricks. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Ooh, ooh. Like it instantly became like super hot. Like, okay, yep, back to fainting. So that happened, and we went for, because I didn't know I was pregnant until I was 3 months.
Hmm.
I still had my menstrual, all that good stuff happening. So I didn't know I was pregnant. I was living my best life at 25. um, so that happened. We went for our second checkup. Oh, your baby's fine. It was just one baby.
Hmm.
And I was like, why do I just have one baby? I said, I have, excuse my language again, for some people whose ears are sensitive, I had a vaginal ultrasound. And they tell me and that's the most accurate that one can do.
Mm.
Um, and he was, the doctor said I had three. And she was like, oh, you did. I was like, "So what happened to my babies?" Like, all right, I already turned into Mama Bear. She goes, just like she broke it down to me. She did it in layman terms because I'm not a doctor.
Right.
But she was like, for example, when animals have their babies or their pups or kittens, however you want to name them, if they are sick, they will eat them. She said, so what your daughter did, which is rare, it's a rarity, but it happens. She knew her siblings, the other embryos, were going to be very, very ill and probably die at a young age. And she absorbed them. I said, oh, okay. In my head, I was like, oh gosh, this is freaky. But we gonna take it.
This is incredible. That's Absolutely incredible. This is not my first time hearing this, but it's like the first time hearing it because that I don't have any other word for that other than that's incredible. That how how did you feel at that particular moment when the doctor broke that news?
I was worried, but at the same time, it was like, does my embryo already understands to be compassionate to not want to let her siblings have to suffer and pass on and see everybody hurt? And I was like, I know my embryo just can't be that intelligent already. Like, oh my God. So
Mm,
it was like a proud moment, a loved and heartfelt full of compassion. At the same time, worried, like, did that really just happen?
mm, yeah,
Like, did I have to be in part of that percentile of people who this has happened to? You know what I'm saying? So it was really just like, okay, okay. You know, hey, you'll as they say, you learn something new every day.
right,
So I,
right.
I learned something very new. Um, and it was great. It was definitely great. And she came out nice and healthy.
Hmm.
I call her my little muscle baby because she's strong, not strong, strong,
Oh,
strong. Okay, you came to say strong, strong. That child was 2 year old. You know how babies they like to play and hit.
hmm.
I don't know. And so one day she was 2, and she said, "Mommy." What she calls me. She used to call me Mum. So it was Mum, and I turned my head, and she hit me right here in my nose bridge. When I tell you, the 2 year old made me cry, hitting me in my nose bridge.
Oh my goodness.
I I was sitting there like, okay, your instincts say swing. Your brain is saying that is your child. Knock it off.
Th-
Like it
There
was
was
an
a serious
accident.
conflict at the moment.
Oh,
Oh man.
oh. But she's grown up to be a very strong, smart, intelligent child. Um, she's won. Um, she rides horses. That's her one of her sports.
Hmm.
So she actually rides a Kentucky Derby winner named Nacho.
Okay.
And she has won first place every single time in her age group. And when she goes up an age group and just to compete because she wants to show off, she's come in third place, but she's riding with teenagers way older than her.
Right.
So
Right.
I applaud her. And then, she does gymnastics and she's the best in her league right now. Some of the little kids made her feel some kind of way because her hair is like mine. Um, naturally curly. So when she's on the mat, it messes up your hair. It's gonna push you to move it.
Right.
And so the girls tell me, "Oh, your hair like wool, baby. Let me tell you." I went up to that gymnasium. Who, baby, you talking about? Hair is like wool. I said, "Yes." I said, Jesus had wool hair
Hmm. Talk about it.
in front of the
Hmm.
parents, right? Jesus had wool hair, so hey, I think my child's supposed to say next. Jesus, huh? What your hair look like in front of their parents? Don't play with me. Don't play about mine and make her self conscious.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
I know what it's like to be self-conscious. You know what I'm saying? I know what it's like to have low self-esteem or not feel that you're good enough
Good
to fit
enough.
in somewhere or be a part of something. I
Hmm.
tell my child any day, you don't like the way somebody talk to you? Deuces, bye. I don't need your friendship.
Hmm.
I said, you don't need validation from nobody on this planet.
So, and if you notice, I kind of put an extended amount of pictures as far as you and your daughter is concerned, because that's the miracle baby, and
Hmm.
she's beautiful, just like her mother.
Thank
And
you.
I know you are so incredibly, just immensely proud of her, and she's going to continue to
Oh,
do great
for sure.
things. So this is just the beginning.
You,
What I want
you
to do
know how
now,
so. Mhm.
go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, no, no, it's okay.
What I want to do now is kind of move forward, and let's get to the place where you was continuing in some of this destructive behavior, and what kind of led you in the direction of TLC? What started happening to push you in that direction?
Um, so even with the destructive behavior, um, I had to stop because I looked in the mirror and realized it's not about me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had to get off the drugs because I used to like to do cocaine and party.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, go out with a certain amount of friends. Let's go. Drinking, smoking, doing cocaine. I've been drugged several times. Thank God, because Lord knows my heart. I tell people all the time I'm a functioning drug addict. And when I say that, it's because I know when something foreign enters in my body, I can tell the
Right.
difference and how it makes me feel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, you know, I've been drugged before, probably about 3 times. Two by people I didn't know, one by somebody I did know. Um, thank God nothing happened to me in those instances that I was drugged. And all I have to say, that's God's grace. Um, so I realized these things were happening to me, and I'm like, dude, you've been drugged, you're doing drugs, like you're partying all the time, you're showing up to work late, um, you know, your responsibilities as a parent have started to slack. Um,
Mm-hmm.
come on, like what's up? So I had to look in the mirror one day and get myself together and face the hard truth. I am self-destructing due to pain and post-trauma that I have never dealt with because I've been taught to, shh,
Be quiet.
it's okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not realizing I'm hurting myself and I'm
Right.
hurting everybody around me. And my brain is not wired to hurt people, especially not on purpose, because I don't
Right.
want to be hurt. And I've been raised, do unto others as you would want done to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, you know, being mean and malicious and just purposely hurting people, it's never been in me. But I realized I was doing that.
Mm. Right.
I was hurting a lot of people. Um, so as time progressed, getting myself together, asking God daily, and I still do it to this day, to remove all things that are not meant for me. People,
Mm-hmm.
negativity, situations, environments, everything. I don't care if I want it. If it's not meant for me, remove it. And sometimes, of course, I thought, no, I want this. I want to do this, and God has smacked my buns and it
Mm-hmm.
has told me it's not for you. And
He
I'm
has
grateful
his
for
way
every
of doing
last one
that.
of those lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I done been tapped now. Trust
Now,
me. Got it. Hmm.
I what I want to do now is kind of transition because I know for myself, I used to have somewhat of a reckless life. I had that season, and it just seems there's a reoccurring thing with a lot of people that I talk with. As we transition into these new seasons, sometimes we still kind of want to hang on to this old behavior because it's familiar. We think it feels good, but ultimately it's not for our good.
Hmm.
And there was a traumatic incident that really kind of sped up your progress as far as recognizing that a certain life just wasn't for you anymore. Um, could you kind of help us on what happened on a particular day when you was around and hanging around the wrong people, the wrong crowd?
September 15th, 2018. Um, I was already out. I was already drinking. And somebody I knew, um, they were having they were performing their music the next day, and I didn't want to go to that. I didn't want no parts of that. Um, but they were like they're having a mini listening party at at her home, whatever. Okay, cool. Um, I seen that the Johnnies were out and they already had checkpoints up.
Okay.
So I knew, you know, hey, you've already been drinking and you're at the tipsy level. So, we're gonna have to cool out for a minute. Um, got to, you know, the place. Um, everybody's drinking, listening to music, how they do at listening parties.
Right.
And I started drinking again, which I should not have because I could have been sober and left and went on about my business. And let me rewind. So before I headed to this place, when I was leaving the place where I was at, I got God, as people would say, your intuition, that gut feeling, that weird feeling you get when you know you about to go do something that you know your ass should not be doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I had that, and I went against the grain. I went against the grain. Huh? Me going against the grain, I woke up because I took a nap because I wanted to sober up. I woke up to being shot. um, it felt like a because I have delayed pain. Let me let y'all know that. So I don't feel pain how most people feel pain. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, it felt like a sharp pinch or like a stab, like a sharp stab. And that's when I woke up. Like, whoa, my brain turned on instantly.
Right.
Gunshots, drop, drop, girl, drop. Excuse me. I'm getting a little. Yeah, I did. I caught myself. Okay. And so it was people in the house. People died. Everybody got shot. Um, um, when I finally was able to see my leg, I think that's when life hit me. Reality. Wake up,
Mm-hmm.
girl. I'm seeing. It was what you guys saw in that video. That's God. That's all I gotta tell you. It's all God because He didn't show you what it looked like before. It's very graphic. It looked. You know how when you scoop out your melon and like you scoop out half of the melon, it's just the peel. That's what my leg looked like on the outside of my right leg. Barely. All I had was enough. Like this is the bone, my shin. I barely had enough flesh and muscle right there. So you saw a white bone. You know how when your mama said, "I'm gonna beat you to the white meat." You saw my leg to the white bone. So I watched that. I felt it. They had to carry me out in a sheet because they couldn't put me on a stretcher.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to carry me out in a sheet. Um, blood was just leaking everywhere. It looked like it was like how you would see a scary movie. Like if Jason Voorhees came with his knife and it was just blood everywhere. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, walls everywhere. It was like a scary movie. So as I'm being carried away, I'm just looking like, oh my God. Like I was just in a horror movie. I was
Yeah.
literally in a horror movie. Um, ambulance came. It took them. I called 911 4 times before ambulance came out.
That's insane. Absolutely
Okay,
insane.
I called them 4 times. Um, so when they finally get there, one of the people that died, he had a head wound. Um, our ambulance doors were facing each other. Um, I could see them working on him. Um, they're giving me an IV. They're trying to, wrap my leg up and all this. They sat in front of the house for 45 minutes. That man
Mm.
lost his life.
Wow.
If they wouldn't have sat in front, now I don't get me wrong, I know they have to stabilize him and enough to they can get on the road. I get that. But 45 minutes.
Mm.
So, of course, that's the trigger because of what we go through as colored people every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that happened. Get to the hospital. Um, I'm laid up in the hospital for hours before anybody even sees me. Leaking, blood everywhere. It was just it was crazy. Um, I um, of course they had to do a debriefing, clean out everything.
Mm-hmm.
When I came to, which was the next day, they were telling me we're about to do our first surgery. um, After that first surgery, I woke up out of my sleep screaming, crying. So I was put on heavy antidepressants.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was given not just antidepressants, but all different kind of medication, pain meds. I had a PCA hooked up to me that never left my side for almost 2 months. I was taking 20 pills, no exaggeration, 20 pills every 2 hours, every day, all day. Um, in the course of being in the hospital, I had 7 surgeries. So it was like I was having a surgery a week or 2 surgeries in 1 week.
Mm. That is a
Yeah.
lot. That's a lot.
Which normally is uncalled for because most places would just say, we just gonna amputate your leg. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because 7 surgeries on one area is really not recommended. Because over time it'll cause bone issues and joint issues and. So this is where God has always played in and God has never left my side. As angry as I might have been at God for all the things that have happened to me in my life, even when I've cursed God angry, God never left me. Never left my side. And so many times could have said, I've tried with that one. Tried with that child. She just don't get it. She keep doing things that's hurting her and killing her. So, after every surgery, something was different. Because we were told I was going to have to do, I forgot the name of it, but they were going to have to go onto my left side of my leg, take muscle, take tissue, take
Mm-hmm.
veins in order to fix my right leg. Every surgery, something different. He came out, I don't know what's happening. He was like, it's healing so well. Tissue and muscle was pulling over the bone. They reconnected my veins because I had drop foot. So my foot was going like this
Mm-hmm.
into the far left. So they had to reconnect my veins because that's where the bullet actually went. It went through my foot
Right.
and exploded through my leg.
And it's supposed to the vein. Mm-hmm.
And so every surgery, it just kept coming back. And so I asked my mom, I was like, can you get your prayer warriors on the phone for me? I was like, and I told her, I don't know if I could take this. Now, I've already told my mom before I couldn't take life and I wanted to die. But the second time with cancer. This was just like, bro, you could take me now. Like, I might lose my leg. You know, I didn't have the best self confidence in myself. I know what I look like, but I didn't feel that inside.
Right.
I didn't feel beautiful how I'm beautiful on the outside because I was self destructing and hurting myself. So at this point, I was just like, I was done for mentally. I was mentally, emotionally, spiritually checked out.
Right.
I
You was
was not
done.
me. I was done. I was done. I was literally done. And, I asked my mom, I said, can you get your prayer warriors on the line? And she got this one prayer warrior. Man, I tell you, that lady touched me every time she touched my hand. Her name Rosalind. Every time she prayed for me, I can feel God moving through that lady's veins, through her fingertips, through her words, everything about that lady. So she would come see me. She would visit with me. She would talk with me. She would pray for me. Every time that lady came, it was like, I don't know, God told her, show up before this baby about to have another surgery. She came every time before I was about to have a surgery, prayed for me, prayed over me, going to surgery, doctor coming out like, I
They
don't
don't know
know.
what's going on.
I
We
don't
do,
know.
but they
Don't
didn't.
know. Every surgery. So the last surgery was the one where they wouldn't have to take the chunk. So they did, the sixth surgery was debridement, go in there, clean out excess tissue, you know, all that good stuff. So the seventh one was the major one where they had
Mm-hmm.
already told me the plan. We're going to have to take the chunk of your left leg, put it over here. Didn't have to. All they had to do was take a skin graft from my right leg. So, my surgeon, he is the chief staff surgeon at the hospital I was at, UMC. His name is Dr. Medina. He's not from here either. He told my mom, my mom said she came out to him like this, I don't know. I don't know what happened. He was like, everything we talked that we have to do, that was going to be a major surgery, we don't have to do. And so that was a blessing.
God showed
Like,
up.
oh my,
God showed up
what?
big time, just for you.
So, healing, doing physical therapy in the hospital. When I was in the hospital, the person I was in a relationship with, opportune time. It was wrong, bad timing, as one would say, or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it. If you're unhappy, stop what you're doing. Let go. I don't believe in hanging on any situation where you're unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a firm believer. If it's meant to be, God gonna make sure we are together. The universe will pull us together if it's meant. If it's not, God bless you. I wish you the best in your endeavors. And that's how that went. So dealing with being shot trauma, heartbreak trauma, it was just like, oh Lord Jesus. Well, please don't let that else come over. I really don't know, if I can take it because I feel so broken. And I'm trying not to be angry at the world. Um, I'm trying not to be angry with myself. So here we go again, having to thinking we healed all the trauma,
Mm-hmm.
back surfacing. This pop, 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 pop. Okay. At this point, I'm like, mm-mm. I don't know what we did wrong before with healing. Obviously, we didn't get it right because we're still being triggered by certain words. We're being triggered by certain actions by people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're being triggered by being in certain environments. Whoa, like, come on now, like, get yourself together. So that's when I really start. I gotta do some soul searching. I need to heal, and I did. I started my journey of healing myself spiritually, mentally, and physically. First, I had to get my health right. Number one, because I
Mm-hmm.
can't praise you if I'm not healthy. It
Mm-hmm.
won't be a praise. I'll be in a coffin somewhere.
Right.
So I had to get myself healthy in order to be able to praise and give all glory to God. So went vegan, changed my life, removed everything I knew that would destruct my body, especially with my health issues that I have. Because I
Right.
got, fibromyalgia. I have lumbar issues. I have sciatica issues. I have rheumatoid arthritis, you know. So it's like all these things. I don't need to be on meat. I don't need to be on any form of dairy, putting bacteria and mucus into my body. So, you know, went that route for a very long time, um, finding myself healing, forgiving myself,
Mm-hmm.
telling myself, you're worthy. What happened to you does not define you. What happened to you was not your fault.
Right.
Those were adults who had problems that had nothing to do with you. So I had to keep telling myself that was out of my control. Whatever they did, they have to speak with God. That's between them and God. I don't have no hate in my heart. I don't have any ill intent, no vengeance. I did, but I didn't realize that was still hurting me.
Right.
So I had to
Right.
forgive them. I had to let them go and continue to love them as my brother and my sister, as God tells me to do, as a servant, being a servant to Him and His children.
Now, as you're going through the healing process, it kind of walk us through uh how did you come across total life changes? How, because this is beginning to connect now, and so we're about to go. It's been pretty hard up until this particular point. Then things start beginning to change. So kind of get. I have my little piece I need to add into there, but I need for you to kind of lead me there.
So, like I told you before I met you, I watched you for a very long time in Coach Stormy. I thought you two, because that's all I seen at the time who were promoting TLC and Total Life Change. You were the only two that it might have been more so um, versus what I could have seen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I followed you, like I told you, I stalked your page for about a year, and some change, if not over that. Um, just like I stalked Coach Stormy. I stalked her page too. I was a
Mm-hmm.
stalker, stalking your page, stalking her page. You know, like, oh my God, like these people are great at what they do and how they talk to people, how they interact, just, you know, what they stand for. Like I felt both of you two spirits, connect with I liked what you had to say. Um, I went towards you because God led me that way. I could have signed up with Coach Stormy, 1,000 families. I could have did that, but I went where my spirit led me. It's been several times I sent her, Coach Stormy, a message. So how do I go about this? And I never followed through. So with you, I finally got the courage to say, hey, and I reached out. I don't know if you want your business out there like that, but I don't care. I reached out and I was inebriated, hecka inebriated. Uh, and I told him, I said, Mr. Biden, I know I told you I was going to call you and I didn't call you. I know you've been calling me. You reached out to me and I did not respond. Please forgive me. Um, but I want you to know that I'm completely serious about joining Total Life Changes. And I want to be a part of Total Life Changes and your team. Um, so, after embarrassing myself for being inebriated, but it was a real conversation. It is what
Yeah.
it is. And you asked me why was I inebriated at the time, and I told you, tired being in pain. My pain becomes unbearable sometimes, um, to where, like, nothing I do, I can't lay down, I can't sleep because my body's hurting me. Doesn't matter which way I turn, which way I feel, I'm always in pain. Like some of you who don't know, I look like this. You might see me on my pictures and oh, she pretty. Oh, she beautiful. Child don't look like she got nothing wrong with her. I am in pain all day, every day. It's not a second that goes by in my life that I'm not in pain.
Now,
Um, hmm
um, just to touch real quick, what she's referring to as far as being inebriated, I call it drunk.
For
But
sure.
yeah, but that conversation when she reached out to me, it wasn't a judgment, and it was, and the thing about it was is that at that particular time I was dealing with something personally, and that comedy showed up right on time. But one thing I heard, I just knew that there was a reason why she was the way that she was, and as we move forward, she joined. She came part of the team. She has grown immensely, and in the process of doing that, I've learned some things as far as just allowing people to grow at their own pace, and when they're ready, they're sure enough ready. And as time progressed, you know, I watched you take some bold steps, because once upon a time you wasn't even posting anything as far as your page is concerned in total life changes. You might post something every now and then, but very quickly your posting began to increase once you started taking some of the products. If you could take about a couple of minutes and just go through some of the products that you're using to help you through your process concerning pain.
So one, I take NutriBurst every single morning
Hmm.
just to put all those vitamins in my body, to give me that energy that I'm lacking when I wake up. Because if I don't take that, like today, I was running. I went to work early, 7 a.m. So I was out the house by 6:30, and I forgot my NutriBurst. I feel so horrible, sluggish, and tired. So I take NutriBurst every morning. I take CMOS. NutriBurst gives me my energy, makes me feel great. It helps with my immune system. Um, I have a rare blood tuberculosis disease. It's rare. I'm not contagious, y'all. Okay. So I have to make sure my immune system is strong because I can't afford to have fluid get in my lungs, or
Hmm.
else I will, end up in the hospital very severely sick. So I take the NutriBurst for that to make sure. Immunity tea. And let me tell you, ooh, that is one of my lovers, honey. I don't go nowhere without immunity tea. That tea, and I mix it with my raspberry. I also tea, and those two together, that's a bad combination, baby. Hitting my immune system. I'm hitting my immune system, and I'm also making the pain in my body manageable while I'm at work.
Right, right,
You
right.
know, so I make my smoothies. I mix my chaga to help with inflammation in my body. I do use my HSN because I was thinning in my hair, and it scares me because that's what it started happening with the cancer. When I found out, I realized that my hair started thinning, but I started taking it, and my hair was boom back in full effect.
Hmm.
My skin is glowing because of all of my illnesses. Sometimes, like the, I get my skin dries out. I don't care what kind of moisture I use. My skin so girl bye. Like look at that light skinned girl so ashy. um, like my nails. So these are my real nails. I use a dip polish, so that's why you see these. But these are my real nails. My nails could never grow like this because of the cancer. My enamel became so weak that if
Mm.
I barely hit anything, my nail would break, and it was split all across the middle. And I was just like, oh. So taking the hair, nail, and skin supplement, it makes me feel better about myself
Hmm.
because when I see things start to happen, it kind of triggers me to feel like, oh my God, do I need to go see my oncologist and get checked? Oh Lord, let's not go through this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with me. You know, start taking that the CMOS. That CMOS, it's like it's life for me. It helps
Hmm.
me out a lot because I have a lot of brain fog, memory issues due to everything I've been through.
Right.
Um, um, and it actually helps with fatigue. If nobody knew that, if you have
Hmm.
fatigueness, it helps with fatigue. So when I'm feeling fatigue, even if like if I've taken all my supplements and I still get that, yeah, I'll get like a rush of pain and it'll make me feel fatigued and tired. I'll take that sea moss NRG. I called it my natural Adderall.
Okay.
Okay, let me talk to you now. So I call it my natural Adderall. Adderall. It helps me focus like no other. I complete tasks like that. I get a lot done. It gives me so much energy. I'm able to move better. I feel great. The fatigue is gone. I have an appetite because I suffer with that too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I also drink the detox tea, the fruit punch, um, because let me keep it real. Tracy tried the OG. The OG did me wrong. Mm-mm. The OG had me in there like Elmo holding on for dear life. Uh, but the fruit punch, no, that fruit punch has no chill, none, none. It's disrespectful. It's mad disrespectful. Okay, I
But it
drink it at
worked.
night. What? Work is not the word. That thing is potent. It's instant. If you have like people think they have IBS, you don't have IBS. Everything is just not processing through your intestines properly. But if you drink that fruit punch, ISOT, and you drink the water intake that you're supposed to, what you tell your doctors, I don't need your medication no more. I don't need what you're giving me. So I
Now,
take it. Uh huh.
not to interrupt you, but I do want to make it clear, even though I have that disclaimer scrolling at the bottom of the screen, we do not make any medical claims. We do not claim or mitigate or cure any diseases. These are just pure testimonies and people's experiences as far as the products are concerned.
Absolutely. I'm speaking from my experience because these are all the products that I do take. And I also take complex for my immune system.
Hmm.
So, these are all the products that I take for myself. And I have the essential oils. Okay, let me get on to you about that. Man, that roller, put you some fractionated coconut oil and put some Guardian and bergamot. You're having a bad day. If your boss makes you want to go, just poke him in his head, just go like this, roll it on your wrist. And when I tell you, it just takes me into another universe. I don't even care what that man's saying. What you start by?
Well, what I want to go into next is now we know that the products have been of benefit to you. I myself, of course, being your sponsor, I've had somewhat of a role as far as your development is concerned.
Of course.
But just like anything else, anything worth doing, you're not supposed to do it by yourself. And I've had uh, plenty of God-given help. There's help, and then there's the right kind of help.
Okay.
And my personal sponsor, Miss Fern Morgan, has played a instrumental role as far as your development is concerned, and also to global director, Mr. D'Angelo
D'Angelo.
Malcolm. Those two, I know they have been a tremendous blessing to me. Just very briefly, how have they been a blessing to you?
Woo. Okay. Let's just start with my sis first. Ladies first. Sorry, D'Angelo. I get to you, bro, in a minute. Um, so from day one, Fern has had warm, open arms for me. Like I could talk to her about anything. We talk every day. Um, she has put me up on my retail game. Okay, let me tell you, sis got that retail game down packed. You know what I'm saying? I was telling her I did my first retail today. Thanks for
Congratulations.
thank you very much. You know what I'm saying? She gave me some good advice. Hey, um, she gives me advice. I talk to her, I ask her, for her opinion because I respect her and I see how she's
Hmm.
grown and I see how she is as a person. Our connection that we have, I swear, I feel like we got popped out the same hoo ha, but we didn't. Uh, uh,
Oh my goodness.
but we didn't. So it's like that connection. Like, you know how you get tired of people? I get tired of people. I love God's children. But I like to be by myself because I'm an introvert. I like
Mm-hmm.
I like solitude. I'm fine with that. That lady, where you going? Let's go. Come on. We got things to do. We
Right.
going over here. We two peas in a pod. She has poured into me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Her
Mm-hmm.
leadership skills, her knowledge, I'm forever grateful. She's still teaching me. Me and her got a Zoom meeting on Saturday
Mm-hmm.
to how to help me excel because I don't have a problem reaching out. Hey, do you mind or if you have the time? And I do appreciate it because you don't have to give me any of your time. You don't
Right.
have to take the time out to coach me and help me. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. I'm grateful for that. Um, because I told her I am going to be a six-figure ring earner before 2021 is over. Now, how do I do that, ma'am? Let's go. You know, snappy. I got 5 months, baby. I got 5 months. And not even a full 5 months. So,
Right.
so she's just been gracious with her time, her support, and her love, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
thankful. Um, Moving
With
on.
D'Angelo, how
Oh,
how how has D'Angelo helped you?
this is I call him my spiritual advisor, and I don't know if I make him uncomfortable by calling him that, but I told Fern when he's preaching, even when he talked to me, I can feel God.
Mm-hmm.
I feel God talking to me. You know how I feel God because I've been in so many churches, been around great men, great pastors, great women. I can hear them preaching the word of God, but to feel it coming out of somebody. You know how the movie Bring It On, and he talking about spirit fingers. I can
Right. Right.
feel it. He's so high. His frequency, his high frequency vibration is just amazing. His love, his connection, his compassion. Um, I'm grateful. He supported me in my business. I'm forever grateful. Um, he speaks to me when he doesn't even know he's speaking to me because it's God.
Right. Right.
And
He has a tendency to do that a lot.
right.
He can't help himself. He can't help
No,
himself.
no. But look, I don't want him to because I feel it and I appreciate it. And when I hear it, I'm like, yeah, God talking to me. Get it together, sis. Get it together. Because God is saying
Okay.
hello.
Well, it's one thing to, talk about them and express your appreciation on this podcast. And they may look at it later to check it out because I think they may have had to, check out, or
Mhm.
they may have had the opportunity. Well, I can show you better than I can tell you.
Here you go with your surprises, man.
Welcome to the podcast, Regional Director Miss Fern Morgan and Global Director D'Angelo Malcolm.
Oh,
Hey, hey, hey.
you lucky I don't have on no fake eyelashes. You would have fell off.
What's going on?
Hi,
Wow,
girl. Mm.
good to see you. Good to see you. Let me be quiet. I don't know about. Wow, I don't know. I let Fern talk first.
All right, all right. Thanks, bro. No pressure.
And I'm just gonna watch.
So, Bobby, thank you for this vision, with your podcast. Thank you so much for having me on tonight, sis. I'm gonna try to get through this because I've already been crying. I had to wipe it all off because I know I had to come on here. Okay. You are a walking miracle, Tracy. You're a walking miracle. And I just want to first thank you for sharing your story. I want to thank you for telling it. And I want to encourage you, sis, don't ever stop telling it. You have been through so much, and you are still here, as beautiful as ever. Your spirit is so radiant. And you're right. When we look at you, we see your beauty. We don't know what you feel. And sis, I felt it when we were together in Orlando. I felt it because I know what it's like to deal with pain all the time. But you don't lead with that. You don't go around telling people I'm in pain, I don't feel good. You wear it well. You walk with your head high. You're proud. And I saw you. I forget what day it was because we was up all day and night.
I think it was Friday.
Friday. Yeah, I think Friday evening. And I was like, man, she's in pain. I can see it. I can feel it. And you really, really just encouraged me because you kept going. You kept pushing. You kept fighting. You were like, nah, we're going to have fun. I may have to move a little bit slower, but I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. I'm not going to let this pain take over. All of that exuded from you. I felt all of that. And I'm like, man, this is what I need. This is the love I need to be around. This is the encouragement that I need to be around, because dealing with so much pain on a regular basis, you don't want to lead with that to whomever you're around, because they don't know what it's like. For one, you don't want to be the negative person or to have that energy. And you really, really just touched me. And I hold on to that. These days, being back from Orlando, I hold on to it because I know that you're fighting. I know what it's like to fight. And I'm like, I have someone that's very, very close to me that I'm blessed to have in my life, that I talk to every day, and we're fighting together, sis. And I just want to thank you for being who you are. One of my affirmations is that my divine helpers will find me, and I will find my divine helpers. And something you shared with me, I feel like we've been knowing each other for like 5 years, sis. Something you shared with me probably a couple weeks ago. The different ideas we're talking about when it comes to business and growing. And he was like, sis, I got you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna create that. I know you don't feel good today. I got it. And I'm like, hold up. I know she probably don't feel good. How is this happening? How is this connection so real and so genuine? And I just want to thank you. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You pour out on days when I need it. And I'm so thankful that it's reciprocated. And I felt you when you was like, you get tired of people. I get tired of people so fast. Okay, let's just be real. I love people. Don't get me wrong. Okay. I love all people. You feel me?
But we got our limits. We have our limits.
But I get tired so fast. When we was in Orlando, I just got to keep it 100, okay? When we were in Orlando, we were like this the whole time. And I was mad when we had to go. You're a true light. You're a true light. Your strength just blesses me. And I can't even imagine the works that God has in store for you. I know that you've already begun doing those works because you're here sharing your story. You're excelling so fast in your business. You are so wise, and you keep wanting to know more. What can I do to get here? How can I grow? So you are not afraid to ask questions, to speak what you want. And I'm just blessed to be a part of a little part of this, to see you continue to grow, to see you to continue to share your story. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Miss Six-Figure Earner, putting that out there. Miss Grand Ambassador, putting that out there. Yes. And you're a warrior. So I just want to thank you, because you bless me every day, and just keep doing what you're doing, sis, because you do it very, very well. And I love you.
I love you too. Thank you. That means so much to me.
You're welcome.
I'm mad at you too now. You lucky I don't have eyelashes on, both of y'all. I'm just waiting for D now. Come on.
Well, I don't know if that was a good idea for me to let Fern go first. That was awesome. Just listening to Fern and Bobby P. Man, thank you so much for inviting me here today to be on to celebrate such a beautiful person. I feel honored and privileged to be here In life, we don't know who we're going to meet along the journey. This is a journey, and you never know who you're going to connect to, and you never know who God is going to make a divine connection to take you from stages in your life. And Tracy, I want you to know that your story is a living testament of what God can do, what a person can overcome. Um, my God, I'm just listening to your. When I listened to your story, I had to cut my camera off um, because of the trauma. But then I began to think about you as the overcomer. God kept you all this time, even when you felt like you didn't really understand why, you went through so much. And I want you to know your story is amazing. There are going to be so many young women who are going to gain strength from being dealing being from victims to victors. I believe that you are a victor now. I believe that you have overcome so many different things in your life, and I believe that the enemy fights those who have the greatest testimony. And it's ironic that I'm sitting here with all three of you, and you guys all live with pain to some degree, physical pain. And I just thank God that I have a connection with you all, because when I look at you all, it gives me the ability to keep pushing. No matter what I'm dealing with, I want to keep pushing and moving. Tracy, your story has made me a better person. Our relationship, you have made me a better person. So I don't want you to think that this is a one-way street. I want you to understand that because of you, we are all, have the capacity to keep pushing, to keep moving, to keep grinding. Um, and I want to leave you with two things. One, it was never your fault. The things that you went through, it was never your fault. I need you to understand that. And people they may look at this video and hear you, and they may not understand some of the things that you had to go through. And I know sometimes we go through stuff, whether it's drugs or alcohol, because we just want to be out of the pain. We just don't want to be going through the pain. And so I understand it, because I used to do the same thing. I just wanted to get out of the pain of mental pain. My mother said, "You're on your way of being an alcoholic." I said, "I don't see it." And we never do. All we want to do is get out of the pain. And so I thank you for sharing your story with dignity. I thank you for sharing your story. It's not your fault. You are blessed beyond measure. What I want you, the last thing I said, this is the second thing. Please never stop telling your story. Bobby P knows I live by those words. Fern knows I live by those words. Never stop telling your story. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your world. And I believe God is going to continue to do some amazing things in your life. Thank you so much, Bobby. And I appreciate you, Tracy and Fern. Thank y'all.
Thank you, D'Angelo. Thank you, Fern,
Thank you,
for
bro.
popping
That means a
on.
lot. Thank you.
And I'll go last here. Tracy, from day one, as we say out here in these streets, we've been down like 4 flat tires since day one. And I didn't judge you when you popped up in my inbox and you were drunk or inebriated, as you would say. I it was like I knew why. I didn't even know your whole story. I just knew something was going on. And as you began to share with me and tell me your story, and there's some things that you shared with me that you haven't shared on here. And I know. And to watch you develop the way that you have developed up until this point, and especially here within the last month or so, and to watch you you're beginning to ascend. It's like everything is happening in order. This is your season. Don't allow nobody, I mean absolutely anybody, to discourage you. And as D'Angelo said, it is now to stand in your assignment. Now I teach assignment. This right here is your assignment. And as long as you're faithful to it, and as long as you're faithful in telling your story, I'm going to tell you, like D'Angelo told me in the second Sunday of July in 2020. See, I don't forget important dates. He said that my provision, my protection, my prosperity, And I added something else to it. My success lies within right there in telling my story, which is part of my assignment. I am telling you, your story, literally, whoever is listening today, those that were designed and ordained to listen to this today, the chains are being broken off of them because they're looking and hearing from somebody who's on the other side of through. You hear me talk about, people sharing their story while they're in the midst of it, and there's power in that. Don't get me wrong, but the biggest power, the most power, is when somebody has made a decision that they're not going to be a victim no more, and you change your position from telling your story inside the story to on top of your story. You are on top of your story now. I'm not saying that there's not going to be difficult days. I'm not saying that there's going to be days where you're not going to hurt, because, man, I understand that pain. I get that. But, man, you have determined in your mind, I'm showing up, period, to watch you. And going back to what Fern had talked about earlier, just to watch you operate the way that you did in Orlando. People don't understand, and this is the importance behind getting to events. There's something that happened with you that folks who've been in the business for 5-6 years have never experienced. You had an opportunity to stand up there on that stage as a director. It wouldn't even matter if you was an associate. The fact that you made up in your mind that you were going to be there, God got to reward that. God has got to touch your business, because this is your assignment. There's favor right here, right here. You can try to go do something else if you want to. It won't work. I am that firm in knowing that I know that I know. That would be like me trying to walk off somewhere else and try to walk out this assignment, because the same favor that I have here ain't gonna work somewhere else. It ain't gonna work in somebody else's house. Somebody need to hear that word. And if you've been thinking about coming back to Total Life Changes, well, there's your confirmation. Come back home. Now, back to you, Tracy. I am so proud of you. Woo. And to watch you walk in power and dignity the way that you did in Orlando. No, everywhere that I was going to have some type of contact with somebody of influence, no, you had to be there with me. That's why your name got called the way that it did. And guess what? That's what leaders are supposed to do. And I want to thank you for making me a better leader, a better sponsor, and the people that you're going to lead. Oh my goodness. Nothing but strength, nothing but power, and nothing but grace. I love you. I got your back. We all got your back. And now here come the second part of this story. Let's call this victory. Tracy, if you have any closing words, we're gonna go ahead and end the podcast. I know it went longer than what we typically do, but this was a God moment, and we don't cut off God moments here.
For anybody who's watching this, no matter what has happened to you in life, trauma, self-destruction, forgive yourself, let it go, move forward, put your faith in God, because only God's going to get you through it. It's not something you're going to be able to get through on your own. God is going to hold your hand every step of the way. He ain't never left. God's never left you, even though we feel sometimes God has forsaken us because so many things are just trauma, or something bad is happening back to back. Put your faith in God. I felt that way. I felt God didn't love me anymore. I felt God left me. I felt God didn't want me because so many things were happening to me. Some my fault, some not my fault. I've forgiven the people who've harmed me, and I've forgiven myself for harming me. And I've learned to love me as I am, not how somebody else wants me to be. Because I can't be who somebody else wants me to be. It's not in the cards for me. I can only be who God wants me to be, and that's who you see in front of you. Um, Release all things that are not meant for you. Um, all I have to say is put you first. Love you no matter what. I don't care if it's a relationship you in, a friendship, family member. I don't care if they're putting you down. Remove yourself from them because you don't deserve to be put down by anybody or talked down to by anybody. Because if they love you, they're never going to do that to you. So if you haven't joined TLC, I have gained family when I thought I didn't have family because my family made me feel that way. Um, I've gained great friends and family from TLC. I've gained my mind, my spirit, and my body back. A total life change. I gained a total life change. And I'm forever grateful for that. And I'll never leave TLC because TLC gave me something no job could give me. God led me to TLC. I'm very skeptical about a lot of things, okay? God led me to TLC. God led me to my circle because I could have been with anybody in TLC. So, that being said, love yourself, put you first. God bless.
All right, folks. And one more thing, Tracy.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for allowing me to be your sponsor.
Thank you for believing in me, even though I was inebriated. Because you could have definitely said, nah, homegirl, I don't want to deal with this. This is a whole lot. But God led you to believe in me. And I'm thankful for that.
All right, folks. We're going to go ahead and end the podcast here. I want to thank each and every one of you that have purpose to be here and actually hang with us the way that you have. So that is never ever taken for granted. Of course, if you catch this on the replay, share it still. I love each and every one of you. You know, there's nothing that you can do about it. And I want you to be encouraged. And more than enough has been said already this evening. But I just want you to know, man, we all can make this transition from being victims to victorious. And then we can take it from there. We can do anything, absolutely anything we set our hearts and minds to. My time is up. I thank you for yours. Stay tuned for next week. We have another powerful story. And be encouraged. Until next time.